bitch, right? I heard you like bud. Nigga, come get this motherfucking nut. And they bitch, nigga, ain't tryna fuck. You bitch, nigga, better hide your fucking butt.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come.
Should I call you mister? Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
Don't trust China. China is asshole.
You are gay. You are gay.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. 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 I'm gonna come. 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 Come.
I didn't come in your burrito.
Hello, welcome to Terrible Person, formerly How to Become a Terrible Person. My name is Jeff. I'm joined by
Leah.
Shout out to AI Kendrick Lamar for that sick
I was going to
intro.
say, was that the AI remix of that song?
It's kind of better, right?
Yeah. But.
Hey, Drake, I heard you like butt.
But. He says it with such attitude.
I keep on. I can't think of. I gotta hold on. We're not even gonna go down that road. I'll just beep that out. So today we're recording this on Wednesday. What is today? The 16th.
Yes.
Liam Payne.
October the 16th.
Liam Payne is all over the news. I don't know the story. I sent you the story earlier, and you just read an article. So what happened with Liam Payne? Kate, you said he fell from a hotel balcony.
He was supposedly drunk and on drugs. He was staying at a hotel in Buenos Aires.
I like your pronunciation.
However
of that.
you fucking say it.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires.
So he was drunk and on drugs, supposedly?
Supposedly the hotel staff called the police and reported that there was a drunk or an aggressive man who appeared to be on drugs and alcohol.
No shit.
And they're like, whenever he's conscious, he's just destroying everything in the room.
Whoa.
That's what I read.
No kidding.
So apparently he was having something was happening. Something was going on with him. And then, he fell from his third floor balcony.
Oh, it was only three floors?
And died.
Jesus Christ. I thought it was like 20.
Sounds pretty suspicious to me.
I was going to say, this is some like Jeffrey Epstein style. Who was there was a credit card exec or like some big executive for like a major financial company who just suspiciously fell out of a apartment window or apartment balcony. Yeah. No, he committed suicide.
Wasn't it for like Wells Fargo or something?
Yeah, I want to say it was something like that. But we saw Ozark season 1 with the guy who jumped out of the building. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know, man. But 3 floors.
Also, it just seems kind of sketchy considering they got a call saying there's like an aggressive man. Right. And then all of a sudden now he's dead and he fell out his balcony.
That's like they
said in the call that they were worried about that.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a worry because it was like a safety thing. He was being aggressive and destroying everything. And then also that they were worried about him because he had a balcony in his room. And then all of a sudden he just,
what do you think
falls off said balcony.
Dude, 3rd floor though, that's tough.
I mean,
because you're probably alive for a few minutes.
Unless it's like,
you're like, unless you hit head first and break your neck and
I don't know,
head open.
But like, unless it's like a multi-level hotel room.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like it was
but
actually.
Even so, I feel like they wouldn't say 3 stories.
Because 3 stories is really only 30 feet if you account for 10 feet a story. Mm-hmm. Right? Isn't that what the old standard used to be? It was like 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet.
I think
but he was probably in a nice building. You know what I mean? It was probably a nice hotel because he.
Vaulted ceilings, high ceilings.
So he was maybe 40, 50 feet up.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks, dude.
Wild.
Damn. Well, anyway, were you a big One Direction fan?
I wasn't. I liked their music, but I wasn't. I feel like I was kind of a little too old when they became super popular.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Like
I was
wasn't
also
like
too old.
One of the screaming like little girls that was like, "Oh my god!" Because I was already like in high school or late middle school. And I was just like,
All right, so obviously you're gonna hear about this. We just found out about this story. It literally just happened.
But it's really fucking sad
Yeah.
because he's literally my age.
But yeah, I told Kate, I was like, now's the time in your life where celebrities that are like your age are gonna start randomly just peeling off, escaping the Matrix.
I'm trying to think of like if there's been ones thus far in my life that I've been really sad about. Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD, dude. Should I do an interpretive dance for Liam Payne? When we go to Target after, I'm gonna be like, "This is for Liam." What's a One Direction song? That's what makes you beautiful. Is that a One Direction song? Okay, that's the only One Direction.
I don't even know.
I
don't
honestly
know the words.
That What Makes You Beautiful is probably the only One Direction song I can. But they had a lot of songs, right? They were like wildly popular.
Yeah, no, they did.
Well, that sucks. I feel bad. You know, you feel bad.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
it's sad.
Goddamn.
It's awful.
Well,
It just seems very suspicious that
I agree.
the phone call to the police from the hotel people, and then all of a sudden he is dead.
Oh, so I'm gonna move on, but
Somebody pushed him.
somebody did push his
Somebody
ass.
that works there.
Somebody
The hotel manager.
Well, that's like what I was gonna say is that show Wormwood, where there was a guy. I can't think of his name, but hold on a second. He was a part of the MK Ultra experiments back in like the 50s, 60s, and he went to. I'll explain that in a second. He went to like New York for this thing, and then he kind of was like going to tell everybody about MK Ultra. You can put your hand down. Goddamn. Now I understand why teachers get so annoyed by that. They're like, I know you want to fucking weigh in. Yeah. But no, so this guy, I think his name was Frank something, but he mysteriously threw himself out of his like 10th floor or 18th floor window, and people were like, he was high on acid that MK Ultra gave him, but actually he was going to blow the whistle on the government doing all the drug testing on its employees and like military servicemen and shit. So they tossed
They
him.
didn't know that they were being drug tested?
He wasn't told. Basically, so MK Ultra, like in its early days, they would have all these like high-minded like scientists go to Cabin in the Woods, and they would offer them all. They'd get there and they'd have cocktails, and two of the guys would have their cocktails dosed with LSD, but they wouldn't tell anyone who got dosed with LSD, and then everyone else there observed them and ran tests on them while they were like blown, because it wasn't like a small amount it wasn't like a microdose, it was like super macro dose, so they were like really fucking with their heads and shit. And basically like he was gonna blow the whistle and they threw him out of a window, supposedly.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So what was you had your hand up? What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, what if he was already dead when they called the police?
Right. That's the big thing with window and balcony shit. It's like, yeah, he could have been dead. That's why they still do an autopsy, because they're like, well, what was in his system?
Like, the time of death. And
Time of
stuff,
death, yeah.
Manner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I just thought of that when I was raising my hand, and I just needed to get that out because it literally just came into my mind.
So, what was your name today?
Leah.
So Leah and I
Such an ugly name. I don't know why I chose
Leah,
that name.
I'm joined by Leah Remini today.
No, Pippa.
Peppa Pig.
Pippa. Like from Tell Me Lies.
Yeah, Peppa.
No, not fucking Peppa.
She looks like Peppa. She's got big Peppa energy.
She does kind of have a Peppa.
So Leah and I are in an interesting position where our friend of the podcast is opening up a podcast studio, video production studio. What is happening?
I think the cat is throwing up.
No, he's playing with the door.
Okay, good. I thought he was doing his.
Oh, okay.
Like his
So
deep gag.
our friend is opening up a podcast studio that's like catering to businesses, kind of the thing we've talked about before. And he said, hey, your podcast is doing well. Do you want to come by and record a couple episodes of your podcast in our studio with video?
Yeah.
And I told him yes, but I also kind of didn't really talk to him about the fact that we
are anonymous.
We want to remain. I mean, obviously,
that's the type of mask we should wear, like the V for Vendetta
No.
mask.
no. I don't know, because I mean that's just then what? Okay, then we're gonna piss off fucking Anonymous for stealing their valor, and then they're gonna fucking come after us.
We'll just be like, we thought you guys were cool.
I mean, they are cool. Shout out all the cool people in Anonymous. We're not trying to make any of you guys mad. You're heroes. You're doing God's work. Anonymous is sick though.
But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that'd be cool because we try to.
Yeah, but I didn't even get to the part where I'm gonna
Go.
discuss that. So we don't want people to. I don't really want people to see the things I say as I'm saying them. So I think we're gonna wear ski masks, like the traditional.
Where your mouth is covered?
No, babe. 3 holes, eyes, mouth, ski mask. Why would we get the one with the mouth covered?
Because you said you don't want anyone to see what you're saying.
No, I'm saying I don't want me anyway.
So I thought you meant like you don't want them to see your lips moving.
No, I don't care about that. I just don't want my face or your face to be associated because we don't know what we're going to talk about on the podcast. It might get wild, and we want to start doing some live podcasting stuff, and I think we should wear ski masks. I think that'd be sick, but I was thinking about 2 things. One, I didn't tell the guy that we're going to wear ski masks, and he's trying to like show professional people that, hey, this is what I do here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I also, you know what? So I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place because I know we're just going to show up with the ski mask. I'm not going to say anything beforehand. And then he's going to be like, are you going to wear the ski mask? And I'm going to be like, yes.
What if we just like didn't wear a mask, but we just sat and it was just like you could only see the backs of us?
We'll see. But we want to show that he wants to show off the studio and show off how things are done.
Well, that's fine. He can show off the studio. We'll sit facing
Facing
the back
away.
of the studio.
We'll
sit facing the wall. You can still see the studio. It's like as if we're sitting facing forward, but we're not.
But the other thing I was thinking of is if we do live podcasting and we do this video stuff, it's gonna be we're wearing a ski mask. That's a winter.
Yeah, not really a good choice if we're.
So what are our other options?
I just told you.
How do we conceal our identity? But I'm asking people that are listening, Kate.
Oh, okay. Give us your ideas. We'd love to hear
Yeah.
them.
What should we do? This is boring.
We could wear like costumes.
Yeah. Boring ass podcast. Nobody gives a shit about our masks. I thought it was going to go somewhere. My tooth is still fucked up. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing to the premium. Because I didn't want to do a free episode last week. I said, hey, Drake, I heard you like Bud.
Bud. You didn't say it right.
I heard you like Bud. Yeah. I don't have a lot this week. Do you have anything? I mean, I do have 2 major stories that happened. 2, Frazil and the cheese incident that I'd like to get into.
Oh, we should talk about the cheese incident because that is...
Okay, you tell the cheese story.
Okay. I feel like you don't like it when I tell stories, though.
Well,
you're always looking at me like, fucking hurry it up.
Yeah, because you put in every detail. You're like, we were at the store, and Albertsons was founded in 1872 by Thomas Albertson. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just leave out the information that's what is it?
We were at the store.
Yeah, we were
getting ingredients for a dinner.
Okay, but
doesn't matter
before we even tell this story. Fuck Albertsons fake news bag shortage bullshit. Albertsons and Safeway as company are doing some fuckery.
They're trying to get, I think, like across the board.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of states where it's like reusable bags are already like a big thing. And you have to pay for if you want a plastic bag. But in Arizona, they're not.
Yeah.
And thankfully, like I like my plastic bags.
Yeah,
so does Grant.
And we recycle them. We use them for other things.
Yeah.
Which is why I usually double bag stuff.
Plus their bags are really shitty and rip so easily. So if you have anything heavy, you need to double bag it.
Well, also too, it's like for them to be like, we're having a bag shortage. I'm at the grocery store every fucking day. I spend like $700 a month at Albertsons. The least you could do is just have plastic bags for me.
Half a cent bag.
Yeah, or look at my rewards and be like, hey, Grant, we're going to send you 4 of our bags. You know what I mean? You're in the tier. Well, we'll only send you 2. You spend X amount of dollars a month. We're gonna make sure you have bags. Do something like that.
Yeah.
But no, instead, it's just like I go to the fucking self-checkout and they're like, we don't have bags. And instead of being like, I'm sorry we don't have bags, they just go, we don't have bags, period. And this has been going on now for 3 weeks. I know I talked about it on the last podcast, but I'm really fired up about it.
Yeah. And the past, we went to the grocery store twice yesterday.
Yeah. And they leave like one plastic
Forgot
bag.
the bag.
Yeah.
Like our reusable bag both fucking times. I'm like, God damn it.
So I'm already hot because we're having to carry our bags in the store now. And I forgot the bag. And so I'm annoyed when we get to the store. You and I get to the store. You're making a Hawaiian roll, pepperoni pizza Hawaiian roll sandwiches. Sliders.
Yes.
Which they were fucking awesome. If anybody wants the recipe, send me a message because it was very easy to make. Kate did it. Not saying, babe.
Basically, he's just saying and could do it.
Not in those words. No, but I'm saying Kate was like, I'm gonna make dinner. This sounds good. This looks good, and it was executed. It didn't seem like a cheap, easy meal. It seemed like it was very nice, very well put together. Mm-hmm. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Pray for you. But we needed to buy cheese. So Kate, now I will hand it over to you to tell the story.
So we go back into the section where they have all the cheeses. We're looking for shredded cheese, mozzarella. And we see the Lucerne brand. They're on sale for like $1.99 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, cool. We'll get these. Then as I'm about to walk away, I see that the Sargento brand is on sale. Meanwhile, there's been this lady lingering there by us the whole time.
We didn't see the Sargento brand because the lady...
She was like standing wholly in front of it.
Yeah, and she had like...
with her cart.
3 bags of cheese in her hands, her phone out, a cart just in front in its corner section of the store.
Her cart is pretty much completely empty.
And it's blocking the entire cheese section.
Could have probably just gotten a basket.
And so we see the Sargento and we say, Kate's like, grab that.
Because the Sargento is, 1, better than the Lucerne brand, and 2, it was like $1.97. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I said, well, we need to wait a second. And we were kind of hanging out behind the lady, giving her time, being respectful.
Like letting her decide between her cheeses, because I know it's a tough decision.
Right. So then I just say, Kate, I'm going for it. And I've got the Lucerne cheese in my hand. Mm-hmm. And I
thought you were going to put it back when you grabbed the Sargento.
And honestly, it would have been very easy to put back because I was right there. Mm-hmm. So I see the Sargento, and I don't even say, excuse me. I just reach around her, grab the Sargento, and I start to walk away. Now, Caitlin, tell me what happened next.
So I'm standing kind of back behind as Grant's going up to get the cheese. And I see that he has both bags of cheese still in his hand. And instead of, putting it back in like the other little refrigerator section in front of him that I thought he was going to do, because there's also some cheeses over there. He didn't. He slips it into the front like seat part of her cart. And then we just walk away. But meanwhile, like I'm trying not to fucking hysterically laugh like so loud because I think this is one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen in my whole life. I was having a very hard time keeping it together. So I'm trying to like walk as fast as possible away from this lady. And then we get the rest of our things. We go up to the self-checkout. Uh-huh. We're in line for the self-checkout. We're scanning, like Grant's scanning the groceries. And then he like looks over and then he like is like, Kate. And I'm like, what? And then he points, and I look over in the direction he's pointing, and it's the lady that was in the cheese section with us, and she has the bag of cheese that Grant put in her cart still in her cart. And I guess that was the first thing that she scanned.
Yeah, dude, she bought the cheese.
She didn't even notice that she had like an extra bag of cheese in her cart.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, it was only $1.99, but if she didn't get that cheese, she didn't scan the coupon. So she paid full price, $3.49 for that cheese. So I kind of, it was only $4, so she looked like she could manage $4.
Yeah.
Fuck that bitch. Get out of the cheese way.
But That was just
Nobody
funny.
gets between me and my cheeses, guys.
And then Grant told this story to some people, and they were like, we don't agree with that.
yeah,
We don't agree with your actions.
That's not cool.
And we're like, what? That's like the definition of, I feel like, harmless.
Yeah, and no, I mean, everybody has their way of dealing with the elites, and that was me sticking it to the elites. You know what I mean?
Standing in the fucking
I
cheese aisle too long.
I stood my ground in the cheese aisle.
Who does she think she is?
Yeah, come on, what the fuck? Who does she think she is?
So yeah, we didn't appreciate it, and Grant told her.
Yeah,
And I wonder if she still hasn't noticed.
I don't think she knows, but she did buy like 5 cheeses. She's gonna be like, why did I buy
She
this?
literally had like a fucking head of lettuce and like 5 bags of shredded cheese, and that's all she got.
She's on Ozempic.
But she had to get a cart.
She's on Ozempic. That's all she can stomach right now.
It's like
Just cheese and
the
lettuce.
lightest things ever. I think you can carry those in a basket.
Yeah, and she's just full diarrhea mode from the Ozempic, so she's like, I gotta plug this up with shredded cheese.
I just eat all the shredded cheese I can. At that point, she should just be sticking cheese sticks up there.
Dude, I'll tell you what. We had pizza, and we had pizza for lunch from Venetia's, and then we had the Hawaiian roll sliders, the pepperoni pizza Hawaiian roll sliders later that evening.
That even a monkey could make.
No,
AKA me.
come on, Kate. Monkeys can't do that sort of technical.
I think they probably could.
You think so?
You trained them, yeah.
You could train a monkey to make pepperoni pizza Hawaiian rolls?
Sure.
Sliders?
I don't think they'd look too pretty. I don't think they taste fine.
They taste like monkey shit.
They taste like dirty little fingers.
Yeah, dirty little fingers, dirty little fingernails. Monkey fingernails are gross.
Monkey hands must be one of the dirtiest things in the world if you really think about it.
Also, can you imagine the grip strength on a monkey?
Oh my god! If they try to give you a handshake, it'd probably break your hand.
Could you imagine getting a burn from a
Just shatter your arm bone.
just rips the flesh off? Is that right?
Yeah.
That somehow feels more racially insensitive than
Than an Indian burn.
Yeah. Yeah. What else would you call it? Because also too, dude,
I don't know.
Here, I know this is a free episode and this is treading on some weird water, but it was just Indigenous Peoples Day and / Columbus Day.
Yeah.
What do they say now for little kids? Because back in the day it was sit Indian style.
Crisscross applesauce.
That's what they sit cross-legged.
Crisscross applesauce.
But crisscross applesauce could mean long, put your legs out in front of you and cross your legs.
No.
Like this.
No.
This is still technically crisscross applesauce.
No.
Why is this not crisscross applesauce?
Because then if you did that, the teacher would be like, no. Do you see how everyone else is sitting? That's crisscross applesauce.
I'll be like, bitch, I was just following the rules. You told me to cross my legs. I'm just trying to be comfortable.
No, I bet you if you Googled crisscross applesauce, it would specifically show a picture of a child sitting with their legs crossed, in the position that we're thinking of. Not you with your legs outstretched and your ankles crossed. Yeah. Thank you.
Look at
Google.
crisscross applesauce right there. That'd be me.
Yeah,
I
just
said,
throwing a fucking temper tantrum in
bitch,
the
I ain't
middle of
following
the
your
circle.
rules. What's wrong with this kid? Whoa.
Babe.
I know.
Oh my god, you're awful.
What are you... sorry. Well, don't tell me to Google...
Okay, well, I'm supposed to know. Okay, I guess it's equal representation.
What the fuck is going on with these little babies? You see these guys? Terrible artists. That's a sketch of crisscross applesauce. All right.
They got the legs right, though.
So that's what you say as a teacher who has,
Yeah.
40 years of experience in the classroom. You're like, all of a sudden, you just got to go from sitting Indian style to crisscross applesauce. What was the learning curve like for that? Do you think people still say Columbus Day in school? Depending on where you are in the country, I guess.
Yeah, East Coast, they still call it Columbus Day.
Interesting.
It's okay to be patriotic on the East Coast.
It is. I mean,
but not here on the West Coast.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it, in terms of time proximity, they were like the West Coast was the last place settled, so you would think they'd be more sensitive.
And we also have
A large Native American population.
much larger populations of Native Americans, and we all know why that is.
Why?
The Trail of Tears.
Well, yeah.
There's large populations of them on the West Coast because they forced them all out here.
But see that. Okay.
Like.
Also, didn't
You're
they
like,
just
"You go."
didn't they just send everybody like that they didn't like kind of out west? They were just like figured out we're fine here.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. I don't know much about.
They're like, don't bother us over here.
I really, truly like that part of American history. I don't really know much about, and I know that is like a pretty pivotal American history stuff. But I also didn't really care about American history until recently.
Well,
I still kind of don't. What's the most interesting thing you think that happened in America, history-wise?
the most interesting thing in American
Yeah.
history? Well, the American Revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, without the American Revolution, there wouldn't be a
Is-
United States.
Is the American Revolution more interesting than September 11th, 2001? Is the signing of the
Yes.
Declaration of Independence
When
more
you-
in because you can't just say the American Revolution because that
Think
took
about the resources, like the amount
Right.
of resources and the amount of people on the American side versus the amount of resources and the amount of people on the British side.
we were vastly outnumbered.
Yes.
It's interesting. Yeah, see, I don't even
And
know.
we didn't have money and we didn't have a bunch of weapons and fancy stuff like the British did.
And now look at us.
But look at us.
Look at us now.
Well, I mean, not now.
Well, we
Maybe
still-
look at us like 10 years ago.
I heard an interesting thing on a podcast I was listening to about Japanese during World War II, like how they were discussing going to war and attacking Pearl Harbor, if you believe that official story. And basically all the people that were like high level Japanese, the think tanks all studied America, and they were like, don't do it. They got fucking so much, they have so many resources and they're ready to go. And they were like,
About the U.S.?
yeah, and they were like, don't attack Pearl Harbor. It's going to be a bad news. And then
They did.
turned out to be pretty bad news for Japan.
Yeah. Well, for us too.
I mean, the whole world. Are we approaching World War III?
100%. There's too much political unrest in too many areas of the world right now. And there is a lot more countries with like more power and weapons and access to those things than previously.
Huh.
And I think that's scary.
Hmm.
Don't you?
I don't think anybody can reach us. Like, I think, sure, there's nuclear weapons maybe over there, but I don't think they can get to us.
But think about all the people that like don't like us
Yeah.
as a country. Like, what if all of them teamed up together?
I think we would still dominate.
I don't think we would.
You don't think so?
I mean, I think that the U.S. military is probably still one of the top militaries in the world, but I don't. If we had like a bunch of like really heavy hitters like China and Russia and North Korea and Iran like coming after us, like, no.
I think China has about 5 more years to be a superpower, and then it's going to be over for them completely. I think they're going to be, because of the whole thing they did with you're only allowed to have male kids.
Yeah, I remember when I was I guess a kid, yeah. And I think it was like in Cosmo or Vogue or something, and it was like this crazy ass article. I was just like looking through one of my grandma's magazines or whatever, and it was like pictures of fucking just dead babies that they would just leave, like dead girl babies that were just like in the little like rain gutter thing, like on the side of the street and stuff, just like, and people were just like walking by it and stuff in the photo, and I'm like, so I don't know if that was like a real legit photo. I think so. It was like in an actual magazine.
You know, it's funny because like, yeah, you have to wonder how much of that information is legit. Like, I'm sure that is Like, I'm sure, like, because they did have a hard rule where it was like, you have to get rid of your child if it's not a boy. But now
and
it's
that was like not even that. I mean, I guess I'm old, but I feel like that was like obvious, like in the 90s, right? That was going on.
I mean, it's been going on since like 50s, 60s.
I don't think it's not going on anymore.
No. Well, now
but I mean, it was still going on up until like the 90s.
Well, that's why I think in 5 years, their population's going to dip so hard. Because it's like, I think it's like what, 8-1 men to women. So like, there's men who have like going to live their whole lives without like ever having a relationship with a woman in China. You know what I mean? They'll be like, I've seen one of those once.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a bunch of incels.
Right. Already.
And they're just going to be angry.
100%.
At the world.
Well, no, it's like, you talk about, you don't know how real that picture was. It's people, there's a whole school of thought that Pearl Harbor was
fake. Or
like completely allowed to just get through so we could,
have a reason to get into
jump into the war. Like they knew about it weeks before it happened. And that's why they call 9/11 the new Pearl Harbor, because they basically, if you believe the official 9/11 story, they basically let them do it. They just let it go through the system. And then also the fact that
they had heard that there was going to be a planned attack, but they were like, oh.
No, they knew.
They didn't like heighten security
right.
or like take any extra measures to prevent it.
They went so far beyond that because did you know there was a training exercise on 9/11?
Oh, yeah, I do remember. Yeah, 9/11. Where like a bunch of their Air Force was like not available.
The entire East Coast was basically all the Air Force. They were running a military exercise about like literal hijacked planes. And then so when they were starting to call in the hijackings, there was real confusion because they were like, is this real life or are we still running the exercise?
Oh, like the air traffic controllers?
Yeah, so the air traffic controllers, like all the military people were like, is this real life or exercise? And they were like, not sure. And then people would get on the phone. You'd hear like, there's a YouTube clip of somebody edited all the air traffic control audio from 9/11 together. Fascinating because everyone starts the same conversation the same way. They're all like, is this real life? They're like, yeah, this is real world, not an exercise. They're like, oh shit, we're all set up to do these exercises because the exercise actually had people scrambling. So they actually had jets flying way out of range of the East Coast. So they didn't have time to scramble to like shoot down the planes and do all that stuff like they normally would.
So they would have shot them down before they crashed into anything?
Theoretically, like they did in Pennsylvania.
They didn't shoot it down.
Okay.
It crashed.
Totally. Where's the plane? What happened to the plane?
It was in a field.
It's underground?
It was in a field.
I know. Where's the plane? Where are the jet? Where are the engines? These are the questions.
All the pieces were in the field.
No, they're not, babe.
Yeah, they were.
The mayor.
I remember the pictures. There was clearly a plane or pieces of a plane in a field.
The mayor. What town did they? Kuchtown. Where did they?
Shanksville.
Shanksville. The mayor of Shanksville was like, I guess there was a plane crash here after he was on the scene, like in the hole. There's just a hole in the ground. And he was like, I guess there's a plane. There's actual footage of him saying that on 9/11 right after the plane crash. He's like, I guess so. I guess a plane crashed here. I don't see any engines or any pieces that look like plane. Yeah. This is a dark episode of the free episode. Sorry, guys. We shouldn't have started with Liam Payne.
You started it.
Kate, you started it.
Okay.
You said, Grant, we got to get into this Liam Payne stuff right away. Well, anyway, www.terribleperson.co. Go there, sign up for the premium episodes. We're going to jump over to the premium now.
Jump off.
You better jump. For my love. Jump in. Do you feel like it's an Anthony Bourdain, Chester Bennington type of situation? Kate Spade, where they were like gonna drop some heat.
Oh, where they like knew too much about something? They knew
too much about something. They were going to blow the whistle.
What did Chester know too much about? The
Chester
stuff?
and Chris Cornell were both doing some human trafficking, like, investigation stuff.
And Kate Spade also
I don't know.
supposedly knew about this.
Did she?
Or child trafficking.
And they all had red scarves in their rooms. Did you know about this?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was also because supposedly the theory is because she knew too much about child trafficking shit, and she was gonna
blow that whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Rest in peace, Kate Spade. Do you like Kate Spade? Did you like her?
I used to be a huge Kate Spade
What
fan.
was her thing? Like belts,
Purses,
leather stuff. Specific.
More just bags and wallets.
Oh, okay.
Not really specific to leather because she does make a lot of stuff from canvas. I mean, I guess a lot of it's leather, but.
All right, www.terribleperson.co. Go there, sign up for the premium. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will see you next week.